We're supposed to talk to Ian Halperin today. I'm not sure if we're going to get him, though.
9?
Because of things going on.
Things. Look at them legs.
But Ian Halperin.
Jimmy's got great legs.
Me?
No, I'm talking about...
That's a nice
very
leg
leggy.
picture.
Very good legs.
Very good legs.
I was one boy most likely to win an award thanks to his legs in high school.
No.
It's a long name for an award.
Sure is. They couldn't even fit it. They had to keep going in circles around the base of the award. Boo.
Boo. Boo.
Fair enough.
So Halperin's got this book out that everyone is talking about Michael Jackson, basically saying he was gay and he didn't touch kids.
Right. He just liked he liked the cock, is what he's saying.
That sounded like there was a little bartering going on.
Yeah.
All right, look, we're gonna go with the gay, but we're not gonna go with the kid thing.
Yeah. We'll help you out.
We'll help you out a little bit, family. I need to make some money.
So I'll put out
a lot of people are going to read my book. I'll say, look, he didn't touch kids, but we got to go with the gay thing. You all know it's true.
Something.
You all know it's true.
We got to go with something here.
Got to go with it.
And they signed up for gay probably so fast. Like he goes, I'm going to go with the gay thing. Okay, sold.
Good. Go.
He wears dresses too. He didn't fuck kids. All right, we'll take it. I'll give you gay and dresses, but no kid fucker. Sold.
So Ian Halperin will not be on our show today. We tried and tried.
We might have him tomorrow, though.
It might?
Yeah, Steve didn't tell you? Yeah.
Okay.
He said you want him tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, of course.
It might happen tomorrow.
Yes, it depends if tomorrow becomes today. But we might have him tomorrow.
Yes. If Scarlett Johansson cancels up.
I love when Steve comes in and does guest pitches, and like he'll ask for like some we have to ask. I understand he doesn't know, but then he'll be like, Al Pacino. No, tell him we don't want him.
Yeah, like that needs to be pitched to us.
Barack Obama. Do you want Osama bin Laden? No, don't get him on the show.
No. We don't have time.
He's not doing a lot of press.
Yeah.
We don't, we have duty jokes to get to. I'm sorry, we can't do that interview.
Matthew McConaughey. And then all of a sudden someone will show up that we weren't sure if we said yes to.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's like, who are you?
Like, who's coming in today? He goes like, yeah. There's an author of a book about lug nuts. It's like, well, did we ever say it? No, you did. It's like we would never say yes to an author about a book about lug nuts.
But just so Ben, if you're listening, this is not really directed at you at all. Actually,
we had a good interview.
But just so Ben knows, we like him.
No, I was just saying. I just saw nuts and booked it myself.
Yes, because I know how delicious they are.
Yes.
I got to tell you, I filmed the guest pitch meeting yesterday, pretty much as a goof.
Oh, yeah.
And then I threw it up there, and
it got a
what
great response.
The fuck? People really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Just us, Steve just pitching guests and us giving our comments. There was some hilarity in there.
It got
the achy breaky heart that they came up with.
Does this achy breaky your heart?
If you want to check it out, I got a YouTube channel, Opie Radio. But I threw it up there like, maybe a couple hundred people will find this interesting. They're like, no, one of the best videos you've posted so far. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because you know why? It was honestly just video. No one was sitting there playing to a camera.
Hell
it was just this. That's what happens at a pitch meeting after the show. That's exactly what it's like without any added shit.
And people are shocked at how we really feel about certain individuals.
Oh, I know. They're like, Jesus Christ.
I thought you guys were friends.
I think that's cool, though, that we left that in.
You know
it's
what?
like, hey, some people we fucking just, we don't want them on the show right now or whatever. So we go, no, fuck it.
I'm going to make that a series because the honesty is so great.
Oh, I know. It's brutal.
So great. And I had to cut down the video. Maybe I'll make a part 2 because the slick, what's his name? The fucking
Slick Rick.
That part didn't make it, and a few others because I just you can't have.
How long was the video?
It still was over 4, which is like an eternity on the internet.
Very
these
watchable though. It's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And people were wondering why you were under the console, and Sam was
I know,
smiling.
Yeah. Sam
all these little things
under the console.
All these little things they picked up on.
Because I unplugged my computer, which is plugged in under the console, so I crawl under the console. Sam's smiling, and then I just come up out of the
inside stuff. But the message
that was funny.
There. Yeah, so check it out for yourself if
Is that the
if
guy
you want.
that was
Die. Yes. By the way, to let you inside the show a little more, when all of a sudden you hear us just talking to imaginary people, we're really talking to people. that are walking down this long hallway.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll comment on, a girl's fine rack.
Yeah.
Or we'll tell someone that he should die because of what he did to us 10 years ago.
The gauntlet.
Right. The gauntlet of people that walk past our studio.
Yes.
I'm Googling my family. Like, people I haven't, like... My cousin wrote a book on, like, Indian prostitution. She's, like, a religions major. No. She's, like, a religions major. She knows all about religion, and she wrote, like, a book about Indian prostitution. Like, what a disgrace I am.
Really? Yeah, well, no, you're not.
No, I mean, I'm not, but I mean, I haven't talked to him in many years.
Selling author.
Yeah, Jimmy.
But it's like, I must just be the laughing stock.
Let it be known, too, I'm being reminded that Jimmy's line about Seth Green killed, too.
What was that?
I don't want to say it.
I want to say it.
All right, make him go to my fucking YouTube channel.
Well, they'll go anyway to hear me say it. Well,
Danny set you up nice. Danny, what did you ask about? We weren't sure if we should have Seth Green on the show again. And I think we're going to end up having... Die. Give us our TV back. Give us our
TV. Should we call him in? Let's call him in asking for our TV.
No, I
Why
don't
not?
know.
What's our TV?
Maybe he wants to come in and take a walk down memory lane.
Hey, give us our TV. You don't need it. Hope you could hear that. I think you can.
So I think we'll probably end up having Seth Green on. But Danny, what did you say about Seth Green during this video yesterday?
What he might be plugging?
No. You were setting up Jimmy's fantastic line, but I don't know exactly what you said.
I don't remember it either.
Still is. You're right.
Allman left.
You're right.
You want me to ask for performance?
Oh, no. Yeah, ask for performance.
Your cracker's broken.
We got to get to the Seth Green.
Jimmy just leaned over. Stupid Sam's eating crackers, and Jimmy just leaned over and smashed his crackers with his fist.
It wasn't even a smash. He just reached over very softly and gently and just slowly crushed them.
Crushed his crackers.
The best part of this part of the video is Ant trying to sneak out.
Oh, yeah.
You were trying to sneak out as Steve was still
I got
pitching
my
gas.
backpack, and then I'm kind of slipping out. It's hard to get past Steve, though.
Literally.
Slip out, yeah.
Dice?
Yeah.
Okay. Seth Green.
All right, here we go.
He was just the host of Monday Night Raw.
That's why I bring it up. He was pitched and it was an last time, so I don't know if it's...
He wrestled in the main event.
Cool.
I think that new season of Robot Chicken.
Yeah, that's what he's...
I mean, look, it's a pretty popular.
The new season of Robot Chicken comes out.
I'm not a huge fan of Seth Green, but I mean, if he's going to be in for 25 minutes,
will he talk about Without a Paddle?
Yes, I want to just talk about Without a Paddle and see him get all upset and tell us how much money the fucking movie made.
He's tag team partners with Triple H.
Shut up.
Who gives a shit about your dumb wrestling?
Exactly.
That sounds to me like I don't give a shit.
I like him.
That wasn't a no.
Well, wait. Is that before I move on? Is Seth Green a no or is it a yes?
No, I could care less.
And
I'd say no.
Do we have anything, like, when is he being pitched for?
Soon, like August, like early August. They started pitching him 2 months ago.
Maybe we could figure out a way for him to be in while something else is happening, so that way it's not just...
Yeah, it's like vacation.
That was brilliant.
There it is.
Just like vacation.
There it is.
Just kidding. Yeah, that's good.
That rules. All right. So we might get Ian Halperin tomorrow. He was on Fox News last night talking about this MJ book he wrote. And wow.
It was it was a secret everybody knew. I mean, pretty much a lot of people knew in Hollywood. Why, in this day and age, 2009, why didn't it come out sooner? And you know.
Well, that's the question. Unfortunately, there's a lot of homophobia that still pervades Hollywood, the music industry. In fact, the rap industry, there was a great book last year written by Terrence Dean called Hiding in Hip Hop about all these gay rap artists who hide in the closet.
Ooh.
There's obviously a sociological reason for that, and I think it boils down to racism. Even though we're in 2009, we have an African-American president, we still have a long way to go in a lot of racial fields. George Michael was convicted. You have Elton John, Boy George. Nobody holds it against them.
Right.
But because of the color of his skin, Michael Jackson coming out, major red flags for him.
This guy's a fucking dummy.
Shut the fuck up. Christ, I'm so sick of this shit.
They fucking came out in droves to support him, you fucking out-of-touch idiot.
Stop.
Because of the color of his skin. Shut the fuck
The color
up.
of his skin was whiter than white.
God, do we hate this guy already?
God, I wish.
Elton John came out. It was
People love Elton John. No one cares.
Distracted everybody with a fucking muskrat on his head when he came out. That's what did it. Oh, by the way, I suck cock. What the hell's on his head?
Yeah, no one
heard him. No one heard him say, I like ass sex. So looking at that fucking thing on his head. God damn.
Did you really give a shit when you found out Elton John was gay?
Who cares?
Who gives a shit?
There's nothing like...
I love the people that think we're still living in, like, the 50s.
I know.
Jesus.
And then he turns homophobia into racism for some...
Right.
I don't know how he did that. Stop it already. Enough. Yeah, we have a president, but there's a long way to go. What? Czar of the world? Jesus Christ.
Enough, right?
Really? I mean, a few short years ago, there was some serious racism and persecution going on. And now we're looking at the president of the United States being a black guy. Just stop it already. Everybody, it's always this, for a lot further we got to go. Fucking smile and go, Jesus Christ, look how far we've come.
Now, we tried to get this guy on the show. Howard had him today. Did Howard attack him? I hope he did.
Fucking softballed it.
Why?
Who the fuck knows? There goes my soup container. I'd make a great basketball player. I cannot sink a piece of garbage into that garbage pail.
All right, let's see what else he had to say. Halperin, is that how you say his name? Or Halperin? I don't know. Says MJ's voice and dance moves were not what they used to be. No shit.
His voice and dance moves weren't there anymore. I think maybe he wanted to die rather than embarrassing himself on stage. This is from one of the members of the household staff who talked to you about that. But yet on the video that we see, it seemed though that he had some energy there, that he was, in good spirits, that everybody, who was part of that tour saying, Ortega and company all saying, it was the best they'd ever seen him.
These are the same people who have said...
I hate this guy's voice, by the way.
He's
anyone
very
else?
hateable.
Dude, anyone else annoyed by just the tone of his voice?
The voice alone is horrid.
What's he look like?
I got a fist up my ass, but I'll continue the interview. Oh, it sounds like Mr. Mackey a little bit. Okay. People...
I can't stand his voice. I can't stand what he's saying. Let me see a picture of him so I could just completely not like this guy. Oh, here we go. Look at him. A big A. No, who does he look like?
Is that really him?
No, that's not him, right?
That can't
You're
be
kidding?
him.
He's like a parody of an ass.
You're joking, right?
That can't be him. Come on.
What good?
Sam's whispering.
FoxNews.com.
Self-hating. Yeah, that's good.
What's up, Sam?
What's the matter, Sam?
Yes. Nobody liked him because of the color of his skin. You're right. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
You fucking blithering idiot.
The same way they didn't like powder in the movie.
Yes, Sam.
I was just telling Danny that he's got to see the video of this interview from FoxNews.com because he wears these big plastic white sunglasses.
Of course he does.
With, like, pink lenses.
He's
very Hollywood.
The color of his skin. The guy's the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Let's go to Tim and
everybody was like talking about him and kissing his ass.
Tim.
Yo.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
What's going on, man? Hey, you guys are talking about this douchebag?
Yeah.
I was listening. I've flipped between Howard and you guys in the morning. Howard really just threw him kind of softball questions, man. He really didn't dig into them like you guys should have.
Yeah.
That's why people have got to stop with
if he gets here.
That we're doing the same show as Howard. Our show is so fucking different, I can't even tell you. How do you listen to that voice and what that guy just said and not attack this douche?
Dude, he is such a moron. I mean, he's talking, it's the color of his skin. No one gives a shit.
No one gave a shit.
No one cares, man.
If there was a more accepted black/white guy, it was Michael Jackson.
Exactly, man. I agree with you guys 100%.
All right.
Hey, guys.
Trying to make controversy.
And
get him on the show.
Wouldn't it have been better at that point to come out of the closet and say you're gay with all the pedophile charges and everything else?
Yeah.
The fuck is this guy talking about?
No, it wouldn't have helped his cause though, because people see a lot of gay guys as pedos anyway. Like there's that misconception that if you're gay, you're more dangerous around kids. So that would have just hurt his cause.
Misconception?
Look at the
Yeah,
sunglasses.
that's fine.
Jimmy, you like the sunglasses?
That's great. He's
How
so
can you?
cool.
He's just silly. He's like a silly
Video killed the radio star.
Yeah, he's in the buggles.
Really? The color of his skin?
All right, let's
Looks like one of Biff's cronies.
you're a Biff crony.
These are the same people who have said repeatedly that he's fully healthy. I know people who were at that video shoot who I've talked to. Have you talked to anyone at that video shoot?
I've seen their.
It looks like dice. It kind of does look like dice from this angle.
They asked, Larry King asked somebody last night, some nobody, that if Michael Jackson didn't die and he did all these concerts in London, would it be successful and would he, have the big comeback? Hell fucking no. He would have done 2 or 3 and the whole thing would have fell apart. That's obvious to everybody alive.
In the past few times he's been out, no one's cared.
Right.
Europe gives a shit. Japan gives a shit. United States could be like your old hat, your old news.
Have you talked to anyone at that video shoot?
I've seen
Yes.
them. I've not personally talked to them.
I would
but
say
I
yes.
have.
Okay.
I have.
What went down
what did
here?
They tell you?
One of his choreographers told me this was not the Michael Jackson of old. And I
Of
urge
course not. The guy's fucking 50. He was 50. He's comparing him to the 25-year-old Michael Jackson.
Yes. And this one's white. He's not like the Michael Jackson of old. He's no longer a black man.
Exactly.
God, we could write a
What
Michael...
an idiot this guy is.
But look at it positively. We could write a Michael Jackson book.
Yeah. If this guy can do it.
Right.
Of course he wasn't. He's 50. He's going to be a little slower probably.
Were you at the rehearsal?
Were you there? Were you there?
Well, I was.
Well, I wasn't either, but I talked to a guy that was.
Some guy.
That's what he said. That's pretty much what he said.
Some
Were you
guy.
there? No. Neither
guy.
was I.
He sounds like Cameron calling Mr. Rooney in First Bullets Day Off.
Rooney?
Rob L.
You're
in
an
South
asshole.
Carolina.
Buster.
Michael Jackson was an asshole.
Were you there? Well, I talked to a choreographer.
I want the choreographer outside.
Rooney! It's all mad.
Oh, fuck.
was not the Michael Jackson of old. And I urge you to look closely at that video. His moves were out of sync. He was sluggish. This is not in my words.
No.
That's according to one of his choreographers.
You think that that's why they only released that one bit of the clip?
Well,
just to show just a little bit of it. I mean, I know they're talking about maybe releasing a bigger.
Yeah, talk
movie.
about profiteering.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jackson's worth much more dead than alive to these folks.
Holy shit.
Talk about profiteering. By the way, my book, Unmasked, the final year.
Right. What is he talking about? Yeah. Don't use the word profiteering. That's exactly what you're doing.
To show just a little bit of it. I mean, I know they're talking about maybe releasing a bigger.
Yeah, talk
movie.
about profiteering.
Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jackson's worth much more dead than alive to these folks.
To you too, dummy.
Yeah, to you. Yeah, you don't
what
have
a hypocrite. This
you don't
guy's
have a book if he
everything
doesn't
awful.
die.
This guy's everything awful.
Oh, why didn't we get him today?
Oh, Christ.
We'll
Do
show
I
you
want
the
that guy
difference between
sitting
the two
down here?
shows.
Do I want that guy sitting right here?
I want to be here.
No.
Yes.
Ugh. Oh. Wow, awful me from Whackbag. This guy sounds like a former station manager. Boys. I was at the final rehearsal.
Were you at the final Opie and Anthony show, but when they said the mayor died? Well, I was.
Funny every fucking time.
This guy is a tool.
Want to hear more?
Please, I hate this gentleman.
I'm not even going to tell you what this next track's about, because when you hear it, you're going to fucking blow a gasket.
All right.
I'm very curious also about the final years with Joe Jackson, the relationship. You know, of course, people are taking aim at him right now, and I think sometimes, in my personal opinion, rightly so, because it seems like he's trying to profit off of his, in the aftermath of his son's death and the concerns about the children. So that's sort of my personal opinion.
We got it.
But what was that relationship?
You seem to think we're all trying to profit, but that's fine. With all due respect,
I'm saying it because there are so many people who do love this man and they respect his.
It's very fair comment, and
his image and everything else.
The way I'll answer that is very simple.
Okay.
I urge the Jackson family to take a step back, They have made some grave errors since Michael has died. Joe has come out and said he wants to start. He's starting his own record label.
He said that a couple of days after Michael was dead.
Yes.
It's outrageous.
He wants to sign some of the children and possibly put them on tour. This is not the time to be making those decisions. What has to happen here right now is to find a stable, comfortable environment for those 3 precious children. That's where their energy should be focused right now, and not making these outrageous public statements.
Outrageous public statements. You said the guy sucked cock, you dummy. It's in a book they can read, you fucking asshole. The guy said he sucks a dick.
And says what?
Put dresses on to go out cruising for guys.
What did he say? The King of Pop's going to lick your lollipop?
Yeah.
That comes from your book, asshole.
These 3 precious children.
Right.
You fucking asshole.
The biggest hypocrite ever.
This guy is
It's not time
douche.
for any of that.
He sounds like Frankenfurter. This is creepy.
Well, it's not so bad. It's not all that bad.
Wow, I want more clips of this guy now. That's all we have.
Just dumb sunglasses.
This isn't the time.
I want the Jackson family to step back and look at, because these 3 precious children. By the way, did I tell you he liked taking it in the ass and then ass to mouth? He went ass to mouth. I hope the children aren't watching right now.
Because I got to sell some books.
Yeah, I got to sell some books.
It puts the book in the basket.
Fuck, I was right there, Jimmy.
Oh, shit. Same fucking guy.
Yeah, I fucked me hard. Michael Jackson. Would you?
Yeah, he put a dress on and went to seedy hotels in Vegas. We found that out because of you, asshole.
God, this guy is a dick. Holy shit, is he a dick?
I would assume Howard beat him up. That's obvious. We like taking our shots, but come on. I mean, Howard did the right thing, right?
I don't know.
This guy is a fucking asshole. Look at those glasses. And
Here, this is a blatant case of discrimination, lack of education by people, and it's as the old saying goes: when you go to the courthouse, sometimes seeking justice, you see just us.
You're not black.
Holy shit! Who's this self-hating Jewish guy?
Rich.
What is it? This self-hating fucking rich want to look like he's fucking.
When he found out from my sources that it's going to be positive and fair, he became more involved.
Did he?
I'm very curious also about the final years with Joe Jackson, the relationship, because so much of what we hear of a tortured relationship, and yet
here she goes on and on babbling.
They were both at the trial.
Just asked a question.
Of course, people are taking him right
now. What happened with Joe Jackson at the end?
Question.
Done.
Because it seems like
question.
Profit off of his,
question.
Yes, you're editorializing.
Question.
This is a statement.
Question,
my French, but you're an
I think we're all
asshole.
trying to profit, but that's fine. With all due respect,
I'm not saying it because there are so many people
I'm trying to find more audio of this guy, so we went right to the interview.
It's very fair comment, and the way I'll answer that is very simple.
Okay.
Very simple.
I urge the Jackson family.
Urge them
to take a step back. They have made some grave errors since Michael has died.
And you
Joe
have
has come out and said he
put him in
wants
the wrong
to
hole.
start. He's starting his own record label.
A couple of days after.
Where's he from,
Michael
this guy?
Was dead.
Yes.
It's outrageous.
He's already
Gotta be
indicated
from
he wants to
Los Angeles, Hollywood, California with those shades.
Well, no, that's where he is now. He obviously embodied California, but where's that accent from?
Oh, Assholeville.
He annoyed you?
He's from Assington.
Did he annoy you?
Yes!
Yeah.
I hate this guy. He's a phony lump of shit. Ugh.
Can we still get him tomorrow?
Oh, please.
Well, why not?
Yeah, get him.
We should get him on the show tomorrow.
Yes!
I want to hear that voice live.
Canadian.
Oh, he's Canadian?
I love the way Canadians handle race. You can't do like racial comments on Canadian radio.
No. It's worse than anything.
That's their thing. Don't make any racial comments. So, of course, they're completely in touch with racism in the United States. Completely in touch with it. Because they're elitist white people who just pretend it doesn't exist.
Sometimes when you're looking for justice, all you see is just us.
Yes.
What, a white Jewish guy, Canadian asshole, and a former black man? What are you talking about? In December 2008, Halperin had predicted Jackson had 6 months to live.
Yeah, that's pretty good scoop.
Did he?
That's pretty
really? Did he say that?
Yeah.
I want fucking documentation.
It was in the third quadrant.
I don't.
The quatrains, my quatrains.
I don't believe one word out of this dildo's mouth. I really don't.
But he can't have a dildo mouth. Anthony.
He's Kreskin.
That's impossible.
Well,
makes
more sense to be able to talk around one, right? Put it in his fucking mouth.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
We gotta. He's only.
Yeah, we gotta take a break.
We have a very brief time with him.
Oh, we have to go right to it.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
let's go right to it. I know you want to take a leak. All right.
Bring him in.
We got Ian Halperin.
That'll be fun.
Let's bring Ian in. Ian Halperin.
All right.
What's up, Ian?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hello.
Hi.
Of course, you got the new book, Unmasked: The Final Years of Michael Jackson.
Oh, is that what we're here for?
I think so, yes.
All right.
Did you see the video of his hair going on fire?
Yeah, I did.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's just being released today? Who had possession of that?
Well, they're going to go on a campaign to get sympathy for him, and it's like the video that was released a couple of weeks ago after he died, making him looking fantastic. But ask me about that, I'll disprove the whole thing.
What do you mean?
They took one take from a song. What they failed to show was the outtake when he's like exhausted, practically faint.
Oh, you're talking about the all right, the rehearsals.
Yeah, exactly.
We all saw the same 10-second clip where he looks pretty good. He's dancing along with his dancers, and he's in good form.
Yeah.
And you're saying there's actual video out there where he looks awful and exhausted.
I'm saying I interviewed the choreographers.
Right.
There.
Talking to the mic, sir, please.
Are we on air now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know. I thought there was a commercial going or something. Good morning, guys. Okay.
We wanted to go to commercial, but we know your time is very valuable. So
no, we're talking about that video that emerged on CNN shortly after Michael died, and I had some concerns after seeing that video. I thought maybe I was duped. Maybe this guy was in the proper shape to do this 50-date residency at O2. Now, I had a choreographer for Michael Jackson examine the video. He said unwaveringly that Michael was sluggish, not in sync with the rest of the dancers. This was not vintage Michael Jackson, and that night Michael said he didn't think he could pull off the shows. Now, Michael Jackson, again, he's a type of performer who will only perform at 110%. It's not like some athlete, let's say a baseball player, who's injured and you pump him up with some drugs, put him back in center field, and he fakes the funk and everybody believes he's back. Michael Jackson always said he would not perform at anything less than 100% because he loved his fans so much.
And it said that you apparently set out with intention to write a book to kind of, I guess, this could be wrong, prove that he's a pedophile, but you ended up without a shred of evidence, and you kind of started to believe the other way.
Well, I started this case as a documentary after over 300 hours of footage that I filmed over the years on this case. I started in 2005. I was livid when Michael was acquitted at that Santa Barbara trial. I thought we had another case of O.J. Simpson on our hands, another case of high-profile lawyers getting their client off the hook. And I was intent to prove to the world that Jackson was guilty, was a child molester, and I set out on the trail. Now, 4 years later, I conclude 100% he's not a child molester. He was a victim of extortion, people trying to bring him down falsely, and that's a sad case about Michael Jackson. He always had undesirables around him. He has to be held accountable for that. You're only as good as the people you surround yourself with in life.
But wasn't that odd that he did fess up to the fact that he did sleep in the same bed with children and things like that? I mean, that's just
I interviewed well over thousands of people involved in the case, including everyone in the inner circle. I interviewed a lot of kids who stayed at Neverland, a lot of their families. What you saw in that documentary was bogus. Michael was on drugs during that time. He was goaded by Mr. Bashir into doing certain things that he didn't want to do. The kids insist that Michael Jackson only was concerned about children. He let cancer victims, economically deprived children into his home. He never slept in their beds. He only slept on a mat next to them. And this is from multiple accounts. Now let's flash back to 1993, Jordan Chandler case. I have
which one is Chandler? Is that the $15.3 million?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The settlement.
15 and change.
Which is weird that he would pay that out.
Well, I'll tell you why.
We'll get into all that.
I'll tell you why. I have a document in my possession, a court-approved document, that says the insurance company forced Michael Jackson to settle. They wouldn't back him anymore. Michael was livid. He broke down crying. He insisted he was innocent. He maintained his innocence till the day he died.
Did he pay that money, or was that insurance company money who said, settle this, we'll pay this, if you don't, you're on your own?
The insurance company forced them to settle.
Okay, so they pretty much paid.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But why wouldn't he take his own money at that point and continue fighting the case?
Right.
Well, that's a lot of money. 15.
Yeah, but it's
a lot of money to give to somebody if you didn't do anything either. I mean,
I understand
if you spent it as a defense in court, you could rip apart somebody with $15 million, especially people that don't have the money. Why wouldn't you choose that venue?
I'll tell you why. I once met the late, great Johnny Cochran when he was up in Toronto. He told me personally two things. He said, look, O.J. Simpson.
I have a headache.
O.J. Simpson. Oh, come on. Johnny Cochran, man. May he rest in peace.
Why do you call him the late great, though?
Well, Johnny Cochran was a legal genius.
You got to give him that.
Yes, he was. We'll give you that.
He said he did not win the O.J. case. Marcia Clark lost it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He also told me never trust LAPD, especially when it comes to high-profile celebrity cases. Michael Jackson's people were worried no matter what, they were going to bring him down. He would get a criminal record if the case went further. Not only did the insurance company force him to settle, but his handlers.
How much
of that money was career suicide?
How much of that money was his? Because we're saying $15.3 million, but that was insurance company money. How much of that money was actually his that he paid out, or was it all their money?
It's never been determined.
And you also said you said it would be career suicide, but it ended up being career suicide anyway.
It's true. You know why? Because if it would have been, in Michael's own words, a Caucasian singer, let's say George Michael, for instance. George Michael was convicted, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody cares. George Michael keeps going on, sells out arenas. When it comes to African-American entertainers, we've had a problem. Even if they're acquitted, they're still perceived as being guilty. For instance, Michael Jackson, in my book, I prove that he's gay. Not a child molester, 100% not a child molester. Why didn't Michael Jackson ever come out? Two reasons. If he would have come out, people would have immediately thought he was a child molester. And also, African-American artists. Have you ever read the book Hiding in Hip Hop?
No, why would I?
You should read it.
All right. I'll read
pick it up and read it. It's all about, it was published last year by Terrence Dean, a fine writer. It's all about why African-American hip-hop artists cannot come out of the closet.
Well,
apparently,
I don't think that has anything to do with race as much as it has to do with credibility
and your
street
audience.
Cred, your audience. Yeah, they don't want to think that this guy's gay out there.
Sure.
More so than race. Yeah. No, I heard your interview and I watched it on Fox
With all
News.
due respect, let's backtrack here for a second.
Did Rosie come out of the closet with her audience? No, because she knew it would hurt her. She came out after her show because her target demo.
I'm talking about the music industry. I'm not talking about the talk show industry.
You said entertainers, though. So
apples and oranges. Okay, let's talk about the music industry, because that's where Michael Jackson made his bread and butter. George Michael came out.
Sure, Elton John.
Boy George, Elton John. Their popularity goes through the ceiling when they come out. Why haven't African-American musicians been able to come out? There's a reason.
Maybe the African-American community's view on homosexuals is too based in religion and a bit dated, so African-American entertainers make the choice. I don't want to lose the money I'm making from this community because of their prejudice against homosexuals. I don't think that has anything to do with prejudice as much as it does an anti-homosexual bias in the African-American community.
I'm talking in Michael Jackson's own words. and I respect your opinion, but this is what Michael Jackson thought.
What did he say?
He did not want to come out because he was worried he would be vilified, his career would be over. He in his own words, there's been so many African-American entertainers over the decades who have not come out because they haven't been.
Who is it really,
They would have been career suicide.
But your examples were a little lame because Boy George, I mean, no one looked at him like he was some kind of rock god, like he was Robert Plant up there. I mean, people already knew.
Everybody knew
something's going on with him.
George Michael, Elton John.
George Michael, same thing. He was a bit swishy when he came out. That was pretty obvious.
And George Michael's not doing particularly well career-wise. I mean, he's still a very well-respected guy.
He came back last year, and the tour went through the ceiling. He made a lot of money.
But it did hurt him at one point, though.
To continue with your point, I think there's a lot of white rock guys that are probably gay and then are scared for the same reason.
I'll tell you who
because they know their audience.
You look at Judas Priest.
Rob Halford, yeah.
Robert Halford came out, and a lot of his fans, these hardcore metalhead guys, are just like, fuck that, I'm not going to see a fag. I'm not, So I think that I couldn't see your point on race really playing into it.
That's because you're Caucasian. With all due respect. No, with all due respect. When you go, there's a line. When you go to the courthouse looking for justice, you see justice.
Right, it's a Richard Pryor line, and it's very accurate at some points, but that doesn't.
But I know that any African American listening to this show,
it doesn't mean that race
will take what I have to say.
Yes, because it's an easy excuse. But maybe they'll relate to it.
As Caucasians in here. We cannot comment on
this. Why do you?
This is not
why do you have
just 1 second.
No,
this is
why do you have the
opinion.
authority on? Why is your opinion relatable? Like, well, because I understand the way African Americans are feeling, but we don't. Like, why do you as a white guy understand it, but we don't?
Because this isn't my opinion. This is the opinion of Michael Jackson, the world's greatest entertainer, the world's greatest artist.
But there's other opinions that are contrary.
I'm just a reporter. My opinion's not in the book.
Of course it is. Of course, you're right. I'm listening to your opinion.
My opinion is not in the book.
Sure it is.
I'm parlaying what I was told by Jackson's handlers, that Michael Jackson did not want to come out because he feared racism.
That is, and I bet what you're saying there is completely accurate. But when you say because he feared racism, that's one thing. But for you to sit there and go, well, you as a Caucasian don't understand, it's like, I'm not that imperceptive that
I'm not insulting you as being imperceptive.
Or anybody as a white guy is not that imperceptive.
I have talked to civil rights activists about this, and I've understood as Caucasians we cannot understand.
You're going to get a biased opinion from an activist than you will just from a regular working Joe black guy off the street.
Yeah.
An activist has an agenda.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Have you ever gone out and being denied a seat in a restaurant because of the color of your skin?
No.
Have you ever gone out and not been hired for a job because of the color of your skin?
No.
I rest my case.
It's his complete incompetence that causes him jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not a case that you're resting because you're talking about a view on homosexual. Somebody's fear of racism.
Look, we are in New York City right now. No, I'm not screaming. It's the morning, and I got to get my vocal yoga exercise. We are in New York City right now, and I love this show.
No blacks in this room.
I saw you guys on Letterman last year, the year before. I thought you guys were great. I was in the studio audience.
Yes, sir.
But I'm in New York City right now, the world's most multicultural city, on one of the top shows in the city, and there's not one African American in this studio.
That's why it's one of the top shows.
I, as a Jew from Montreal, represent the visible minorities here today.
So that's what I'm saying. The bottom line
we're in no position to comment on all this.
That's silly, though. Of course we are in a position. Of course
we are. It took a guy from Canada, because all of you motherfuckers were on your ass. I had to come up here and get the story behind the story. Look, I didn't want to do the Michael Jackson story.
Of course you wanted to. Of course you wanted to do the Michael Jackson story.
Why didn't anybody else get the story? Why didn't anybody else get the story?
Yell at reporters, not radio. Yell at the reporters. Yell at the rest of the mainstream media.
I'm not yelling at you guys.
Well, then yell at the media. The media is shit. They're part of the media.
This was easier than getting the Rodney King tapes, this case.
The Rodney King tapes were pretty easy to get.
On a Greyhound bus with a video camera from Canada. I live in the woods in Canada.
So do you think
because I was watching TV all these years and said, Where are these guys?
A lot of people would say. A lot of people would say
in their ivory towers collecting their paycheck.
You're in an ivory tower because you're pontificating about how white and black relationships are. Where in Canada, what racial problems have you had? Stop it! You're pontificating about how we in America are dealing with race.
Talking about
this is one of the top shows, and there's no black people. Who gives a shit?
Well, we are New York City,
yes, we
the
are.
world's most cultural city. I'm looking around the city.
I understand we should throw a black guy in here just for the fuck of it.
Don't be silly.
Throwing a token hot black chick in here.
That's elitist and racist. That's elitist. That's white elitism.
Yeah.
That's white guilt. We don't do that. We bring people in who we like to have on the show. We don't base it on race because we feel that black people need a bone thrown to them. They don't. They're qualified. They don't need me as the almighty white man to toss them a little scrap from my table.
It's
they don't
easy
need
for you
that.
to say
That's called sarcasm.
Because you have never gone to a job interview and been forced to leave the room because of the color of your skin.
Neither have you.
That's
so how can you pontificate on it any more than I can?
Because
if you want to talk experientially.
That's what I'm talking about during my investigation. What I learned from Michael Jackson and his handlers.
Their opinions,
we cannot
absolutely.
understand that.
Michael Jackson was beloved all over the world. How many people could survive the perception, okay, albeit incorrect according to your book, how many people could survive the perception that they're child molesters and still sell out 50 fucking shows at the O2 Arena?
Amazing.
He was loved all over the world.
First of all, he was acquitted.
And
I said perception. I said
perception. If it would have been a Caucasian being acquitted,
like who,
it would have been end of story. Michael Jackson.
Not true.
There's a
pedophilia is a big one.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm the guest here today.
Yes, you are. Right. But you're behaving like a host.
Let me finish.
Yes, I know you're all. You're the guest.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
The reason why he went to London, why do you think he went to London to
Because there's a lot of black people there and we're racist in America. I don't know. Because I don't know why. You tell me.
Because sentiment in the U.S. was that Michael Jackson was guilty after he was acquitted.
Yes. Exactly. Sentiment was
He went to the U.K. because it was a safety zone for him there. There was no fear of people showing up, protesting, shooting him. He was in fear for his life. After he was acquitted in 2005, which I outlined clearly in the book.
Yes.
He left the U.S., traveled with the kids to Bahrain, to Ireland.
Yes.
He could not stay in the U.S. He feared for his life.
Fair enough. Look at R. Kelly, by the way. Look at R. Kelly, racist country we are. This video, it looked to me like in that video, it appeared to people that R. Kelly was pissing on a youngster. And apparently, he just got acquitted. Marion Barry, who has done, smoke crack in a hotel, stalking it, he stayed, he got reelected. So don't act like black people in this country are just treated terribly once they're acquitted
they're
or
singled
convicted.
Out. Because
stop it. At
one point, don't tell me to stop it because
that's silly.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
why do we just remember all these isolated incidents of African Americans who have been acquitted and still we think they're guilty? Because when Caucasians are acquitted in this country, they're able to move on.
Really? Like the LAPD officers who were acquitted, and to be honest, I didn't feel like I felt like they should have been. I felt like they should have been convicted. I felt like that acquittal, which caused the Rodney King beating, was a disgusting acquittal. It was again the prosecution mishandling the case because they never called Rodney King to testify, so the police officer's testimony had to be accepted, and I felt that was a disgusting acquittal. And when they were convicted on civil rights charges, I completely agreed with it. So it's like you can't say that just because someone's acquitted that we go, oh well, I guess they're guilty anyway because they're black. We see that if it's that obvious with a white person, we feel the same way, and that's unfair to say that. Don't put that on me.
I'm not putting it on you.
But you are as a white guy. You're saying that to Caucasians. I am one of them.
What I learned during this case, as Caucasians, we cannot understand the persecution, the racism, and the segregation that African Americans have gone through and still experience.
So you're saying that we can't comment on abortion? We shouldn't be able to talk about any women's issues because we're not women. Just because you can't experientially comprehend something doesn't mean you can't have an opinion on it.
Michael Jackson, I'm not dealing with women's issues. That's a whole other subject.
But it does fall under the same subheading
which I'm also sympathetic to, and that might be the next book.
It falls under the same heading as if we're not that person, we can't comprehend it.
Right now, I'm here to talk about the world's...
Going beyond Michael Jackson.
Okay, let's get back to the book.
A racial thing with
I'm not going beyond because that's what the late great Michael Jackson, that's what haunted him for so many years.
But you also said you throw away some of the stuff he said because you said he was on drugs. So where do you draw the line that this is legitimate?
Who was enabling him? It was doctors enabling him all these years.
Yeah, that's true. Just like they did with Elvis, a white guy. Yes, Dr. Nicopolis did with Elvis, and I'm sure his doctors probably did with him because that's what happens when you have that kind of money. Allegedly, Elvis said the doctor goes, I don't want to prescribe you this drug. He goes, I'll buy the goddamn drugstore. When you have that kind of money and that kind of power, come on,
let me tell you something.
That goes beyond race.
The day Michael Jackson announced his comeback, I went on the biggest breakfast show in the UK, GMTV. It's about 10 times the size of the Today Show. That's what they tell me, something like that.
Okay.
I said that the comeback would never happen. He was in no physical or mental shape. Remember, I predicted December 24th, 2008. It made world headlines. Michael Jackson had 6 months to live. I just didn't come out with some statement.
Why did you predict that?
Okay, 2 sources in his camp contacted me, told me he had a debilitating illness. He was gravely ill. He was in no mental shape. He had a lung disease.
What kind of lung disease?
It's called alpha-1. Are you familiar with alpha-1 antitrypsin? It's a potentially fatal lung disease. I said in the same article he could live with alpha-1 until 110 years old and die of the flu first. But anorexia, one of the biggest side effects of anorexia is cardiac arrest. Now, this was in the book before he died.
Right.
The book was on the presses the day he died. I came out after the sources came to me because they understood my work was going to be sympathetic to Michael. They were concerned that they were outnumbered by the enablers in his camp, and they had all signed confidentiality agreements, these guys. They were using me to get the story out. I came out with the story December 24th, 2008. The next day...
What's 208?
February 08?
February 08?
No, the year? December 24th, 2008.
Oh, 2 of 08.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I'm from Canada.
So
we have a bit of different lingo.
You said 205
It's like British and U.S. here.
Oh, okay.
Right. 2008. Sure.
2008.
Gotcha.
Next day, Jackson's personal manager and sole representative, Dr. Tome, he calls himself. By the way, I researched this guy. He has no medical degree whatsoever, according to the American Medical Association. He came out and called my claims a complete fabrication. This was the problem with the Jackson camp. Instead of rushing to judgment on what I said, they should have checked this guy into hospital, not with the doctors that were around him, but with a world-class doctor, got him the right help. Instead, they're planning a concert tour for him. The guy was in a wheelchair. He was wearing a surgical mask. And they want him to go on a 50-date concert tour. Not even the heavy metal guys you talk about would do this easily no matter what type of shape they're in.
Ozzy's wife has been known to push him out a little bit, but I mean, again, a heavy metal guy probably couldn't have sold like Michael Jackson. I mean, let's be honest, no one debates Michael Jackson's impact or the power he had as an entertainer. My only debate with you is it's not even what you say in the book, which is probably accurate because you were there. It is only what I see as an elitist attitude. Not that, look, we have to look at race accurately, but we as Caucasians don't comprehend. So because we haven't been denied a job because of the color of our skin, we can't make a comment on it or see it as being accurate or seeing it as being bullshit at times. It's like, just because I haven't been denied a job because of my skin doesn't mean that I don't see occasionally a black guy using racism inappropriately. I should be able to call that out.
Have you ever had sex with a black woman?
Yes!
All right.
And black trannies. I mean, want to go down the line? Who hasn't? What am I, a racist? Yeah, of course I've had sex with a black woman.
Why do you ask that question, Ian?
Because Michael Jackson believed bringing races together, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to heal the world, and he did believe in interracial relationships.
Yeah, most people do after 1955.
Yeah,
I mean, most of us are fine with that.
As far as the 80s and 90s went, as far as coming up with interracial relationships, people walking down the street would have been shot years ago, and now it's you don't even look twice.
It's got better.
It's got better. The president is a black man. His family, there is a black family living in the White House. They've reached the pinnacle of power. It shows that if you apply yourself, if you assimilate to this country and work hard, you can achieve the greatest office this nation has. So where is this such a hardcore racism that Michael Jackson was afraid to say, I like
I don't buy your argument here, with all due respect, because the fact of the matter, you make it sound so easy that all they have to do is work hard, they could become president, and away we go. Let me ask you, when was the last time you were in the Bronx here?
In the Bronx?
Yeah.
I drive through the Bronx every so often, going upstate.
I dated a Puerto Rican chick. She lived by Webster Avenue in the Bronx. I was always afraid to go there, but she sucked such good dick that I would take the chance.
There
you got her.
There's your answer.
Good enough.
There you go.
Chick, yes.
That's a good answer.
So you're saying, what? I have been up there.
I'm from Canada here. When people walk down the street, let's say if you're black, you're white, you can walk down, interracial, doesn't matter, 2 trannies walking down. Nobody gives a shit in Canada.
Right.
Over here, and the neighborhoods are quote-unquote integrated in Canada.
Sure.
For years and years. I go to the Bronx here. I feel threatened.
Yes,
and
as
why?
you should.
Yeah.
You're talking about
it's a poverty issue.
You're talking about a guy in the White House now.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the big picture.
You feel threatened because it's a poverty issue. Like, honestly, the Bronx is a fucking scary area. Cops are scared of the Bronx sometimes.
Yeah.
Or Flatbush, or a lot of areas, a lot of places. There are black guys that don't want to walk through the Bronx. You walk through the Bronx with the wrong fucking color headband on, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
It's a scary area for a lot of people because it's very high crime.
I feel like I'm just a notch below Baghdad sometimes in the Bronx.
So where does your blame lie there?
No, it's not that dangerous. It's just,
who are you blaming?
That was funny.
I'm blaming the system.
I like that.
Okay, the system. It's a little vague. It's a little vague.
I think as you guys got to wake up and smell the coffee, there's still
we live here. We don't fly in and just pontificate about it. We live
here.
You
are Caucasian.
So what? So what? So are you.
In the studio
so are
now.
you. So are you. And yet, you know whose studio is right next door? That's fucking Shay. That's Eminem's studio. They're all black people in there. We're not shocked by black people here. In Canada,
don't put words in my mouth.
I didn't say you are. I said we're not shocked by black people. I didn't put that in your mouth.
We have a black president and everything's hunky-dory.
No one said that, but he did say that your argument about racism is a bit dated. You are making kind of like a very liberal argument from 1985.
I'm not talking from my words. I'm talking from the words of the greatest artist, the greatest entertainer of all
loved by white people. What racism did he face?
Michael Jackson.
He's got 3 white kids. Like all this weird racial crossovers he had, and you know what? He was still loved.
Yeah.
And you know what? He fucked McCartney out of the Beatles songs. People still loved him. Michael Jackson, despite the perception that he was a pedophile, even after he was acquitted, because look, I still felt he was. Was I wrong? Okay, maybe I was wrong. He still was beloved.
I never saw a more diverse crowd than at his memorial.
They loved him
in Harlem. When they showed that, there were white, black people. It was just the most diverse crowd.
Where was everybody beforehand? It's easy for everyone to come celebrate when he dies, and a lot of them show up just to save face.
He wasn't doing shows yet.
What do you expect? He was hiding for the last.
He was hiding. You're right.
Michael Jackson.
Went to Bahrain,
4
right?
years, right?
If you're saying the memorial. It was it was like a rainbow there.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted to accomplish.
His contracts were like that too.
That's what he wanted to accomplish. But why didn't he ever come out of it? Have you ever heard the Michael Jackson gay rumors before?
It wasn't.
Yes, of course.
But it wasn't I cannot see that as a racial issue. I see that as an issue where if he says I'm gay, he might think that he's not going to get as many fans.
Caucasian.
You keep saying,
this is not my words. This is in the words of the the greatest entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson.
His opinion.
Pardon my. You say that Michael Jackson, and this I didn't know, this is an interesting fact in the book, was diagnosed when he was a very young boy with schizophrenia. Right? He was 6 years old? So if he was diagnosed at 6 years old with schizophrenia, we obviously know that he's a little mentally unbalanced. He probably, I'm guessing, had body dysmorphia because just of all the changes he made to his face. So how can you give him complete credibility with his thoughts on racism? It's like that was a perfectly rational, logical thing, and then in the other breath say he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and we saw how erratically he behaved.
Schizophrenics aren't capable of having their own opinions? Schizophrenia is a huge disease,
but how can
and
you
it's got to be dealt with.
Of course, but how can you not take that into context?
Joe Jackson.
But you're not
I have a file on Joe Jackson like this, and if he keeps going further trying to get custody of these kids, I'm going to call a press conference in New York.
Why don't you just call the press conference? That would be some great...
because I don't want to dig up the skeleton right now of Michael Jackson.
Do you understand what I mean, Ian?
Peace.
How can you say in one breath...
We hate false threats.
How can you say in one breath, obviously, that he was... Of course you can have opinions on race, and some may be very accurate. But how can you not take that with a grain of salt that his opinions may have been a little off kilter, considering the fact that he did
book. You haven't read the book.
No, but I'm asking you. I can only go by what you're telling me.
I say Michael spun a lot of tales. There's no doubt about it.
So why isn't his view on race? Why are you taking his view on race at face value and saying it's 100% accurate?
He said this his whole life. Michael Jackson said sometimes he'd improvise some lines to dupe the media, to shield his kids from the media, but Michael maintained this. Remember, this is Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5, a career that very few have had. No one. I mean, the only person supporting Michael Jackson was Liz Taylor, another child star. Where were all these people? They all came out when he died.
Well,
and pretended they were so...
With any celebrity.
But he did that to himself. He hid from the world, He had
no choice.
Ian, the gay thing.
Yes.
So what was he into? What was he doing? I was reading some excerpts, and he would sneak out in women's clothes, go to seedy hotels in Vegas.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of people said, what women's clothes? I have photos of women's clothes. Michael Jackson dressed up. I follow him around going in my film when it comes out. See, I have 300 hours of footage, and I'm just waiting for all the detractors to come out like I've done on all my previous projects. I'm the only guy to ever infiltrate the Church of Scientology, by the way. I posed undercover last year as a gay actor. They let me film nonstop in there, and that's how I found out about the gay rumors with Michael Jackson. First, I found out through a quote from his mother, Michael Jackson's mother, Katherine Jackson, who's getting a lot of sympathy that's unwarranted from the media. This is a woman who stood by her husband while he beat the crap out of Michael Jackson and never said a word.
A lot of people would say, I'm not defending her, but a lot of people would say Hedda Nussbaum did the same thing with Joel Steinberg beating Lisa. A lot of people say that victims of domestic violence, it really is like they're the victim too. And I'm not saying that she was, but it's kind of hard to attack the mother on that one.
But is this the woman who should be getting custody of these 3 children? And
no, I don't think so.
Doesn't matter. How much longer will she live anyway?
Well, Joe Jackson has come out and said he wants to start the Jackson 3.
Yeah.
Put the kids on stage. You have Debbie Rowe on the other side. If she'd have the chance, she'd auction these kids off on eBay in a second to make a buck.
She's terrible.
But where is an independent authority right now? Is there California Child Services, Child Welfare?
Does
that exist?
They're treating the Jackson family like
royalty.
saints, like royalty. You've seen the tributes. You've seen everything. I haven't seen one bad word come out about this guy.
I think the kids are well taken care of. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think the kids will be fine.
How can you say that?
The Jackson kids.
So if they go to the Jacksons, you want to see them they're in mourning right now.
Yeah, we'll see.
He wants to put them on the stage, sign them recording contracts right now. On the other side, Debbie Rowe, she'll take a buck for the kids, which is the most disgusting thing a parent can do.
But how bad of a life would that be for the kids?
How bad is here? Where's the authorities to intervene and get these kids stability?
What people are saying, didn't Debbie Rowe say, wasn't it a stipulation? And it's a little too soon to say where is the proper place for them to go. It's kind of hard to figure out because he wasn't married. So where's the U.S. of A? The U.S. of A, the Jackson kids are going to be taken care of. They have not been given to Joe Jackson.
They're not going to be taken care of.
People are figuring out where they legally belong.
People are on their coattails right now trying to get at the will, the money, which is their...
What damage can you prove has been done to those? I'm not saying you're even wrong, but you say, where's the U.S. of A? Like the government's supposed to just step in and take the children.
Socialist Canadian nation.
Yeah, exactly.
We're working on it, believe me. We're trying hard with Obama.
Have you ever been to Canada?
Yes, I performed in Montreal at the Comedy Festival. I've been there many times.
My good friend Andy Nolman's the CEO of the Just for Laughs. Do you know Andy Nolman?
I don't know Andy Nolman, no.
Andy Nolman was the head of Just for Laughs. Did you like Montreal?
I like Montreal a lot. Yes,
way better than Toronto.
I did enjoy Montreal.
Did he sneak out of the house in women's clothing and go to the seedy hotels and the whole line about how the King of Pop's going to lick your lollipop? How do you know this shit?
I found, after Katherine Jackson, I found the quote. She said, Michael, her son's a fag. Then I found quotes from siblings accusing him of being gay. Mm-hmm. I never saw the smoking gun with these people. This was just hearsay, innuendo. So I decided to go further. Through my key 2 sources, I was put on to 8 people. 8 males who claimed they slept with Michael Jackson, including an L.A. porn star who's gone on the record. I didn't even put him in because I could not find extreme corroboration.
What was his name if he's gone on the record?
I'm not going to say his name.
Well, if he's gone on the record, I mean, if he's on the record, why not?
Google him. Google him. You'll find it.
Google who?
Why don't you say it? Because he's not worth my time. I asked for extreme corroboration. He didn't produce it. Not worth my breath. But
shit.
Oh, someone's getting catty.
The 3 I found.
Jimmy Norton.
No.
The 3 I found provided photos, timeline, witnesses. Read the book. It's all in there. But what's wrong? If this was a biography of George Michael, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Because nobody would really care as much. He was the biggest star in the world. And he did die. He didn't fade away. I mean, people didn't expect him to die at 50. Yeah. And he was making a big comeback tour.
6 months before he died. Yeah, 6 months to live.
I'm saying the majority.
Where
we
were
don't all
you
have
guys
their
when I said that? This made
I don't know. Probably here working for a living, being the racist pigs that we are.
Everybody was sleeping.
I know. Why don't you yell at the mainstream media for not getting the interview that Martin Bashir got? I mean, come come on, you can't say where was the media. They sleep on a lot of things in this country and in your country too.
This is supposed to be the higher level of journalism in the world.
You have Canadian resentment against the U.S.
It took a Canadian from the woods to trek on a Greyhound bus with a video camera and get the story. You guys
it also took a Canadian
McMahon's death.
It also took a Canadian on a bus to cut off someone's head and fucking hold it up. If you remember, if you want to talk about Canadians on buses, I got a story.
Every time I go on the bus now, I look behind my shoulder.
But you have this weird thing with the U.S. So instead of shitting on like the U.S. media, which I'm with you on that,
I love
you
the people
obviously
here.
did a good job.
I love the people here. The people are fantastic. Some of my best friends are here.
Where was the great media with Paul and Carla Bernardo? I mean, did a big media blackout. Where's all the great media information from Canadians on that one? Harumph.
Unfortunately, you're an expert on Canadian stuff.
I know
enough. What's the capital of Canada?
Who knows? Saskatchewan.
Anyone know? Seriously, anyone here know the capital of Canada?
I honestly do not know.
Come on.
I would guess.
And I rest my case.
I think it doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. Everyone gives a shit. Every Canadian.
I don't know
every Canadian, when you ask them what's the capital here,
because the U.S.
they will respond.
Because the U.S. is pop culture.
Illiteracy.
Canadians want to be Americans. We don't give a shit about Canada.
Yes, it is a problem in the U.S. when we were creating the light bulb to read by.
Right.
Yes.
Ian.
That's my point.
You have Canadian resentment against the U.S.
New York is not the entire world. Step out, see the world, get educated.
I fly everywhere.
You cannot even name the capital of Canada.
I don't care about that.
Well, you
I don't give a shit about that.
Because we are in business together, both countries.
What was the original of Black Sabbath?
I don't care about the Black Sabbath.
That's how I feel about Canada's capital. Who gives a shit?
There you go.
It was
I'll tell you.
What's Ozzy Osbourne's real name? Exactly.
I won't answer any question about Michael Jackson today. But any Canadian will name the capital
because the U.S.
of the U.S.
The U.S. is what's down here keeping you from getting fucked and kept you from getting fucked by communists.
Yeah, exactly. How about
communists?
Yes.
Dude, I could go.
Russia would have stomped over.
Let me tell you something.
Stomped over Canada.
I could go to the hospital today, check in, and I don't get an outrageous bill.
Yeah,
you guys got to go, and you're fucked up the ass.
Wait online.
Wait online. What's the name of my HBO special?
Dude.
No, you don't know. Yeah. I'm not big enough for you just to know that. No. That's the way it is about Canada. We don't look at Canada like that.
We are neighbors in business, Canada and the U.S. I don't even watch television.
No, but the point I'm making is,
Canadians,
you're saying, how can we not know Canada?
Are all obsessed here about celebrity culture, about TV.
You travel to another country.
You know what we do in Canada?
You travel
we enjoy
nations.
life.
But
we
you
don't
wrote
sit.
a book about
we
celebrities.
Don't
You're obsessed.
We don't sit
you wrote
because
about
nobody else here
Cobain.
got the story.
You wrote about Cobain, Celine Dion.
In Canada,
you can't get enough celebrities.
You guys sit on your butts.
You got on a bus.
Drinking beer, eating junk food. We're out cycling.
Yeah, like Michael Moore, the picture of Canadian health. Stop it!
Ian.
Stop it, you silly goose!
We have to.
You're out of your
Why are
mind.
you criticizing that film?
Because he's fat. I think the film was great, but you're saying
Michael
that we
Moore.
eat junk food, and I'm saying the fattest fuck in the fucking north of South America.
And by the way, lock your doors. That's crazy. Just lock your doors. Now, Ian, we got to wrap up, but two things. First of all, it's Ottawa. We all know that. Second of all, how did the reports are coming out any day now? Michael Jackson. How did he die?
I'm not a coroner. I'm not a cop. I'll tell you one thing.
An educated guess. How did he die?
Let me say one thing.
Overdose of...
I will not comment until this police force answers questions. Now, if we look at the track record of this police force, it ain't exactly too pretty, especially in high-profile celebrity cases.
True.
Hopefully this time they will get their shit together and give the proper answers. If they don't, I will be on their trail. Because most likely you guys won't. So I will get...
No, we won't. We have jobs to do. We're doing our jobs.
I will go back to L.A. and I will do due diligence.
I'm hoping you're working for us.
I'm hoping that these guys get it right this time.
But don't act like you're doing God's work. Let's be. You're coming off a little annoying because you're an author.
Where was everyone else?
But they were. Where was everybody else? They were talking about Michael Jackson. They were writing about Michael Jackson. Stop it! You're saying we're celebrity obsessed. You get on a bus and cross the border to write about a celebrity.
I even gave them the smoking gun. I came out. I said he's dying 6 months to live. I was right on. And
yes, fine. Gene Dixon said that once. Who gives a shit?
Look, I'm not Nostradamus here.
I know
but
you're not.
But the fact is, I did my homework.
Yes, you did. And you should be. That's why you have a book that will probably go number one on the bestseller list.
I'm hoping that the rest of the media now will follow this case
and we'll get to the bottom of it.
All right, but just the pomposity of the Caucasian from Canada come to rescue the idiots from the U.S. is silly, and it's elitist, and you probably don't mean it to be, but it's inaccurate.
Michael Jackson.
All right, with the words of Michael Jackson. The schizophrenic. He was also a schizophrenic who had a tiny nose and had a cleft chin put in. Stop acting like all of a sudden his is the word of a fucking authority on racism when that fucking kook walked around with a fucking surgical mask. He was nuts.
There was only one Jackson who helped Michael in the last 10 years of his life.
Who, Jesse? That fucking bug-eyed cocksucker?
But it was Jesse Jackson.
Oh, yeah, he's a really
he
great.
Was there for Michael Jackson.
He also offered to pay the tuition of a girl who lied about being raped by Duke players.
Right.
He's a brilliant source of inspiration for all of us.
Referred to New York as Hymetown,
yes,
by the way.
He also
anti-Semitic
referred to New York as Hymetown. He fucking knocked up a woman out of wedlock and then trashes Imus for saying something anti-woman.
The track record of Jesse Jackson.
Don't mention him.
You brought him up.
All I'm saying is the only Jackson who showed interest in Michael's well-being.
Reggie Jackson did too.
Hey, Reggie Jackson almost played for Montreal before the Yankees. Until George Steinbrenner brought him to New York and put him down Broadway, everyone recognized Reggie. In Montreal,
the resentment.
Charles Bronfman, the owner of the Expos, wanted Reggie Jackson, but he put him down St. Catherine Street. Have you ever been to St. Catherine Street?
I'm sure I have.
It's like the Broadway, and no one recognized him.
Street. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Right down. Listen, Ian, I think you got to go. Your publicist is panicking.
Let's read the book before we rush to judgment.
We're not rushing to judgment. We think the book is probably very accurate.
Thank you all for having me. I hope to see you guys again.
Ian Halperin,
Ian,
Unmasked, the final years of Michael Jackson.
About Kurt Cobain. Was he murdered?
I'll say one thing.
Yeah.
The forensic evidence proves 100% Kurt Cobain did not commit suicide. I'll come back here anytime you guys want to talk about that.
Absolutely.
We got to run. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. Good luck with the book, man.
Thank you, Ian Halperin. Unmasked, the final years of Michael Jackson in bookstores and Amazon.com now.
Hi, Jen. Good seeing you tonight.
Holy
shit.
Down the hall.
Holy shit. Danny was just making disgusting faces.
I love it.
That guy.
And that's how you interview that guy.
Dude, let me tell you something.
So, you know.
That is a work. I'm not buying everything that he's trying to sell a book. That's a character he's putting on.
You might be right.
But not totally. I'm not saying totally. Right. He is, as Jimmy said, he is a pompous Caucasian Canadian with a guilt complex that thinks he's coming down to save America. But he's pouring that fucking personality onto sell books.
You might be right.
Was I the only one that kind of liked him?
I wanted to hate him more, but when I saw that it was a work, he's playing the heel. He's playing the Canadian heel. I'm like, all right, whatever.
What a fucking...
With your goofy glasses and fucking wrinkled pink tie.
I do think that he believes that, though, because, the thing about you're not Caucasian, I think he does believe that.
But the thing is, he's saying shit. He's being very critical of us, our racism, our country. And then the second you question on it, he goes, not my words, Michael Jackson's like, no, they just came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
They were your words.
What a douche. God damn, you got to love it. And
I did enjoy that, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Oh, Jimmy got some zingers in there.
Yeah. Oof. We just went like an hour and a half without breaking.
I got a tinkle.
We got
Jimmy had a wee beforehand.
My bladder's about to explode. And that's why we're the most popular show in satellite radio.
Kenny,
that's how you handle that interview.
Kenny, could you check to make sure there's no Negroes in the restroom when Jimmy uses it?
That's
because
right.
You know how we hate to make wee-wees when there's Negroes in the bathroom.
And tell them not to look at me from Shade 45. I don't want those eyes on my pure white skin.
How is their water fountain working? Because ours is working fine. Jesus Christ.
I guess we'll be back.
By the way, I did lose a job. I lost a job to a black guy. But I couldn't get a word in edgewise. When I was first starting radio, they said they wanted to hire me, but because they had a quota to fill at the radio station, they hired the black guy, and that is a fact.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
That is a fact. So,
sure
yes, I did lose a job because of the color of my skin. It does work the other way, and I'm sure if we went to the phones, there's a bunch of people that would call and say, I lost a job to a black guy.
How about the firefighters in the Supreme Court case that was just overturned? Which we would have got to that. That silly goose.
Yeah.
God, I love the hell out of that one. Yeah. Holy shit. Now compare the two shows, you assholes.
That was fun.
That's how you do that. Opie and Anthony. Gotta say, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that last segment.
Yeah. And I kind of here having to text people that are just like, they loved it.
I kind of like the guy.
You would.
Nah, it's just, well, yeah, because he was a douche.
He was a complete douche.
I kind of related to a lot of the douchey things he was doing.
Oh, my God. You just want to smack him.
At first, I hated him, but he kind of turned me around.
fun to have
it's kind of a. You got to think it's kind of a work. I don't know if he believes half the shit he was spewing. I don't know, though.
I kind of think a bit of a work.
A little bit of a work there?
A little bit of a work there. He's kind of playing the heel because he just went on and pounded the same thing. And then the second you'd confront him on what he's saying, he'd say, well, Michael Jackson said that.
Right. No, the greatest entertainer of all time.
You just said that.
Yeah.
I think that what he's doing
when he was backed into a corner. Hey, I didn't say that. The greatest entertainer of all time said.
I think that he was actually being fairly genuine because I think that what he's playing is the popular liberal angle of people. You don't understand white people. You don't get it. And I don't know. I don't think he was trying to be controversial. Maybe he was, but he was fun to have on. I'll say that.
Yeah, you got to give him that.
I'll read the book. You know what? He's not a dummy. I will absolutely read that book.
He's going to sell a lot of books being like that.
Thank God
I think he knows that.
Yeah.
I think he knows he can be an asshole and sell a lot of books. Because if I recall, he did catch a lot of heat for the Kurt Cobain books and his theories on how Kurt died. So I think he's kind of built up this character. It's based on him, believe me. I think he is truly a liberal, self-hating, Jewish white guy from Canada that has an extreme jealousy / resentment toward the United States.
It's an exaggeration of his personality.
Right.
Yeah.
And it comes out.
He believes the basic stuff he was talking about and then just plays it.
I almost saw a smirk a couple of times.
That voice of his is just fucking annoying.
He is a cheese grater. He is just fucking...
Were the fans loving him?
They hate him. Do they hate him?
They love the segment. I'm glad somebody picked up on the fact that I called him a queer.
Dude, Sam came in.
That was hysterical.
And he goes, at one point, Opie went, hey, shut up, you queer.
You're like, Ian, shut up, you queer.
I didn't hear it. It's funny.
Well, because there was so much noise going on, and he looked up like, did someone just call me a queer?
A queer.
And then the capital of Canada, I blurted out, who gives a shit city.
Yeah, it's who gives a shitville.
And then fucking Jimmy with, what did you say about Black Sabbath?
What was the original name of Black Sabbath?
Yeah, shut him up.
And the guy goes, I don't know. He goes, see, because that's not important to you. Like, Canada is important to me. I can give a shit.
There was so much going on there. Oh, fuck. God, whew, that was fun.
Yes. That was good.
He's coming back to discuss more Michael Jackson and the death of Kurt Cobain in the very near future. Yes. Maybe not tomorrow, but maybe early next week.
In the future?
I think early next week before he goes back to L.A.
When we're all living in the racial harmony that you find in Canada, he'll be back, I'm sure.
Wow.
My God. Then he brings up how all Canadians are healthy and we just sit on our ass and
that was fun.
Eat and just do nothing. And it's like, what the fuck is
we should just debate.
Where does this come from?
We should debate, America and
the merits of America and Canada.
That would be
the fact that they would have been blitzkrieged upon time and time again if it wasn't for their neighbor to the south that has that spends all its money. We have free health care. We can walk into... Yeah, you know why? Because we have to pay for a fucking military to protect us and your sorry ass and stupid Mexico and everyone else in this hemisphere against whoever the fuck wants to come rolling in and strolling in.
And our Canadian listeners, our Canadian friends, we start with Mike. They want in on this bad. Mike in Toronto, go ahead.
Holy shit, this guy pissed me off to no end, but it was a great segment, guys. I just want to say, you guys talk about him when he was back into a corner and giving all the quotes to Michael Jackson. The problem was, whenever he was back into a corner, he was also throwing out, well, have you talked to this guy?
Yeah.
This neighborhood? He talks about the Bronx and he talks about being a proud Canadian. I guarantee you he hasn't been to Malvern in Toronto or Scarborough or the Asian gang communities in East Vancouver. So before he starts spewing that shit again, fuck, I wanted to kick this guy in the teeth.
Call him out on some areas in Canada where it would be like, yeah, go ahead, stroll through there at night.
See, we don't have enough knowledge of the Canadian hot spots as far as problem areas.
We don't give a shit.
So there are problem areas in Toronto. I had no idea because he said there wasn't.
No, he said everything's fine.
This guy gets on there and he starts spewing all kinds of shit because you guys won't know about it. And he looks like a friggin' genius when in reality, he's just spewing bullshit.
But the Canadian version of the FCC, they're their hot trigger button is race. So I really do believe he believes that because, like, with them, it's racial humor. And that's such to believe that black people have been fucked over in this country is very accurate. And to believe they've had a very shitty time for a very long time. You can't deny that. And you can't deny that things have been unequal and in a lot of ways are unequal. But there's a line between that and groveling, pandering, which I think is a sign of somebody being elitist and intellectually superior.
They need our help.
Yeah.
So let's help them.
Yeah.
No.
In a non-common sense way, in an elitist way.
Oh my God, that was
And like
fun.
no one's ever been successful coming out of the slums, the Bronx, East New York and Brooklyn.
Look who they're fucking putting in the Supreme Court.
Exactly. No one's been successful coming out of these areas. You know how? By exactly what I said. Assimilation to the society that this country has, hard work, staying away from people and things that are going to get you in trouble. That's what does it.
He's on.
Look at him. He's on. There he is. We're watching him right now.
Can we get
on a news show? Yeah.
Wait, I gotta hear him on TV.
Pot that up.
I can't get enough of this fucking asshole.
Gotta hear that.
Can we get this real fast?
What are you talking about?
We're gonna try.
Yeah, we get it. Go.
I got. What am I supposed to hit?
The TV.
Oh, cable.
Him.
To such great songs like Working Class Hero or In Glass Cases.
That's the wrong one.
Oh, good song.
That's the one up top.
That's not it.
Oh, just change the channel on the one up there.
Change that channel.
I thought it's this. Isn't it this one?
It used to be that one.
Well, then change that one.
Oh my God, we're all panicking.
Change that one.
We stink.
Change that top left channel.
We can't figure it out. We're dummies.
Happen in my lifetime, and
No, it's that one over there.
Oh my God! It's
Where's
the other
fucking
one.
Mars today?
God damn it!
No, see, it's that one.
No,
Because that's the only one that still has fucking Lennon crap
in
on.
that period in New York City.
Oh, shut up, Yoko.
He was so political.
Oh, it's not that one either. Oh, fuck. Now we're...
What
the fuck one is it? How do we not have this?
Oh, we're all panicking. Protesting the Vietnam War.
Try it.
It looked like it was that
I
one.
came up with that prediction hoping that they would take it seriously and get Michael into a hospital with a world-class doctor. What did they do instead? They booked him 50 concert dates with dollar signs in their eyes. Where
dollar signs?
All these people coming out of the woodwork.
Same reason you wrote a book.
Dollar
signs in your eyes.
Dollar signs.
Again, let's remember there's a
loony signs in his fucking eyes.
In mourning, the families in mourning, and especially the kids. But no one was there for Michael to fall back on, except for Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, a few years ago, urged him to go into rehab, wanted to help him rehabilitate himself, but Liz Taylor's got really ill over the past few years.
What a
she could barely
different
take care of herself.
interview.
Where was everyone else? And
I know.
right now, today, we have a crisis here, a big crisis, because there are 3 children. You have on one hand Debbie Rowe, and I'll say this: Debbie Rowe, if she had the chance, she'd auction her kids off on eBay. And
He just has his dude. He's gonna just go with his stock line. I want to hear Justice and Just Us.
I would like to talk to you
It's
more.
Michael
But your book's
Jackson.
available.
Anytime.
Thank
Michael
you so much.
Jackson.
Cut the interview short.
Wow. Sympathetic portrayal, and I urge all his fans and his detractors to read it.
That's why he's being sympathetic, by the way.
Thank you very much for coming here. Ian's book, The Final Years of
Oh,
Michael
they gotta
Jackson.
be pissed at us at Channel 11 today.
Because
the last 10 or 15 minutes of the interview, they were trying to get him out because he had this big interview on Channel 11.
That's
He
fucking
had a short
funny.
version of the interview because of us.
Good.
Suck it. That's some funny ass shit. His stock lines.
Mm-hmm. She would do it. Justice, just us. Yes, that was prior. Is it something I said?
Yeah.
Fucking silly goose.
I didn't say it. Richard Pryor said it.
All right, we'll move on.
All right. Rooney?